Hello students, welcome to our buddy class. In this session, we are going to study Unit 1 in Grade 12 Chemistry, the solid state, under which we are going to learn what is a solid state, what are the properties of a solid state, what are the classification of solids, and then the bonding and properties of these solids. Moving on to the topic, we know everything in this universe is made up of matter. Matter is made up of particles. The particles are nothing but atom or molecules. There are three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. All these three states of matter are also made up of particles. Then how can we able to differentiate these three states of matter? This can be differentiated based on the interparticle attraction and the thermal energy. Interparticle attraction is nothing but the attraction of molecules to one another, and thermal energy is the energy possessed by the particles to move around. So in solid material, the interparticle attraction is very high, whereas the thermal energy is the movement of particles is very low. So, and then in liquid state, the interparticle attraction and the thermal energy are same, whereas in gas, the interparticle attraction is very low and the thermal energy is very high. These properties makes the solid material as rigid one and liquid and gases as fluid substances. Based on the arrangement of constituent particles, solids are classified into two types: crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Crystalline solids are those in which the particles are arranged in a definite pattern. That is, if we know the arrangement of particle at one single position, we can able to predict the geometry of the solid. Whereas in amorphous solids, it does not the particles are arranged in an indefinite pattern. Let me see the properties of these solids. We saw that the crystalline solids have a definite pattern of arrangement. So we can able to predict the geometry of the crystalline solid. Whereas in amorphous solids, the particles are arranged in an indefinite pattern, so we cannot able to predict its geometry. Melting point of crystalline solids. All the portions of crystalline solids are same. So all these portions melt at a particular temperature. So crystalline solid have a sharp melting point. Whereas in amorphous solid, each portion is different, so they melt over a wide range of temperature. Cleavage property. When we cut a crystalline solid with a sharp edged tool like knife, we can able to generate another crystalline solid with a plain and smooth surfaces. When we cut the amorphous solid with a sharp edged tool, we end in irregular surfaces. Anisotropy of crystalline solids. Crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature because the physical properties of these solids are different in different direction, because the arrangement of atoms in crystalline solids are different in different direction. In vertical direction, the arrangement of atoms will be different. In horizontal direction, the arrangement of atoms will be different. So that the physical properties of these solids are different at different directions. Whereas the amorphous solid are isotropic in nature because it does not possess any arrangement of atoms. So physical properties are negligible in these type of solids. Order of arrangement. Crystalline solids possess long range order, whereas amorphous are short range order. Whereas crystalline solids are known as true solids, whereas the amorphous solids are known as pseudo solids because it have a tendency to flow. And moving on to the next topic, classification of crystalline solids. Based on the nature of constituent particles and the intermolecular forces that holds these particles, crystalline solids are classified into four types: molecular solids, ionic solids, metallic solids and covalent or network solids. Let's see what is molecular solid. Constituent particles are molecules. Based on these nature of molecules, molecular solids are classified into three types: non-polar molecular solids, polar molecular solids and hydrogen bonded molecular solids. In non-polar molecular solids, the constituent particles are atoms like noble gases, argon, helium, neon, or non-polar molecules like H2Cl2 or I2. The electron cloud of these molecules are symmetric. It does not possess any polarity. At one situation, the polarity of the symmetry of the molecule is lost. It induces a dipole in it. A dipole in one molecule will distort the adjacent molecule symmetry and also induces a dipole. The interaction of dipole-dipole is known as dispersion or London forces. These forces are weak in nature so that they have low melting and boiling point, and these solids are soft in nature. And next we see polar molecular solids. Polar molecules are the constant particles of polar molecular solids. Example, HCl or SO2. The interaction between these molecules is known as dipole-dipole force of attraction. These attractions are very strong, so these solids have a high melting and boiling point compared to non-polar molecular solids. And next is the hydrogen bonded molecular solids. These molecules contain a covalent bond between hydrogen and highly charged electronegative atom like oxygen, fluorine or nitrogen. The bond between the electronegative atom and the hydrogen atom is represented in a dotted line, and these are known as hydrogen bonds. And these bonds are strong in nature, so they have a very high melting and boiling point compared to other solids. And these molecular solids are insulators at room temperature. And next type of crystalline solid is ionic solids. Ions are the constant particle of ionic solids. These ionic solids are made by three-dimensional symmetric arrangement of cations and anions. These are attracted to each other by electrostatic force of attraction. This force of attraction is very strong, so that these type of solid possess high melting and boiling point. As ions are the constant particles, they are soluble in polar solvents and insoluble in non-polar solvents like ether. These ionic solids are insulators at room temperature, whereas conductors at aqueous solution. This is because conductance is mainly due to the movement of ions. At room temperature, these ions can't able to move. It has a fixed position, whereas at aqueous solution, these ions can able to move, so that when we apply an potential, these ions behave as a charge carriers and conduct electricity. Examples of ionic solids are sodium chloride, cesium chloride, zinc sulfide and magnesium oxide. And next is the metallic solids. Positive metals and free electrons are the constant particles of metallic solids. And next is the covalent solids. Non-metal atoms are the constant particles of covalent solids. All the non-metal atoms are bonded by a covalent bond. As it forms a network of covalent bond, covalent solids are known as network solids. These covalent solids are hard and have very high melting and boiling point, and they are insulators at room temperature. Best example of covalent solids are diamond, silica carbide, silica, etc. One exemption case of covalent solid is graphite. This is due to the typical layer structure of graphite. If we see the structure of diamond, the carbon atom is bonded tetravalently, whereas in graphite, the carbon is bonded only to 3 electrons, whereas the fourth one behaves as a free electron, which revolves in between these layers. When a potential difference is applied, these free electrons behave as a charge carrier and conducts electricity, so graphite is a good conductor of electricity. The interaction between each layer is very weak, so that they can able to slide one another, so they are soft in nature and behave as a good solid lubricant. Let us recap the topic that we have discussed in this session. We saw what is a matter, what are the states of a matter, and what is a solid state, and what are the properties of a solid state. And we saw two types of solid. One is amorphous solid and the other one is crystalline solid. And we saw what are the classification of crystalline solids and then the bonding and properties of crystalline solids. And in next class, we'll see what is a unit cell, what are the parameters associated with a unit cell, and what is a crystal lattice and the structure of crystal lattice and the packing efficiency. Thank you, students.
For more queries, please contact Buddy on 98408 44987 or visit buddy.live.